Hey guys, Arcaden here, back again with another episode of Tips for Bronze. Now last time we covered off on split pushing, but this week, as suggested by Spud Bunch, we're going to be covering off on ranked anxiety. Now if you have a topic that you'd like me to cover off on in the coming weeks, leave a comment below, but for now, let's get started. So this week we're not just talking about ranked anxiety, but more about your attitude towards ranked games as a whole, or even gaming as a whole. So this concept's going to be more of a general video, and because of that it's going to be a little bit different to my usual format. So instead, I'm just going to have a conversation with you about this topic and what you can do in my experience. Because this is going to be more of a different general format, then I'd really love your feedback on whether you liked it or not. Because personally, I'd much rather talk with you through a concept if that helps you understand it in a more meaningful way. The literal definition of anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. Now this is exactly the reason why it is completely justified and normal to feel anxiety or fear of playing ranked games or competitive gaming, because the outcome is uncertain. While doing my research for this video, I watched a couple of other videos of people who had covered off on this topic before. Now something that I noticed was that every single presenter actually admitted that they themselves had never experienced ranked anxiety or fear of playing competitive gaming. But for me, this is something that's plagued me in gaming for years. For my first 2 years in League of Legends, I could barely touch ranked because of my fear of the outcome. For me personally, the fear of playing ranked games or competitive gaming came from a point of pride. As a kid, I always put so much pressure on myself to perform really highly because the people around me always told me I had so much potential, and I didn't want to let them down. Naturally, this extended into League of Legends because it was something that all my friends played. It was something that I was really passionate about. And the idea of playing a ranked game and doing poorly and losing and being labeled as bad was something that I really wanted to avoid. Hell, even when I started playing League of Legends, I would only exclusively play 3v3 Twisted Treeline, because just the idea of playing Summoner's Rift with 9 other people and feeling like I let them down, or if I did badly, or if we lost and they blamed me, it was just way too overwhelming. And I know it's kind of a hard thing to understand for some people, and it's even kind of a hard thing to explain, but for me, the feeling of letting people down and being a disappointment and having that pressure on you is something natural, and it's really difficult to overcome. So if you can relate to what I'm saying, if you've felt those sweaty palms, if you've had your heart rate start increasing when you go into a ranked game, or even just by clicking a rank queue and starting up in the queue, you start getting butterflies, then you've most likely experienced ranked anxiety. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Anxiety is actually a very natural thing. It's your body's way of reacting to a stressful situation, and it's actually very similar to how your body reacts to being in danger, which is why many people experience this in a different way. Adrenaline's actually released into your body when it's not meant to. It makes your body and your mind become all tense, you become hyper alert, you become scared, you become uncertain and disorganized. Your breathing and your heart rate increase, and oxygen to your brain and your extremities is reduced, which causes really cold and clammy hands. And all of this happens because you are too invested in this game. You're too worried about how other people will perceive you, how you will be judged, what the outcome of the game might be. And the first step to overcoming this anxiety is acceptance. Accepting the fact that maybe you will be a bad player. Accepting the fact that maybe you will have AFKs on your team, but accepting the fact that you need to go through that. If that's the case, so be it. You need to push through to go on this journey into becoming a better player. The way that I overcame my ranked anxiety was because the curiosity of where I actually stacked up, where my true skill level was, outweighed the fact that I might be labeled as bad. And so I thought, even if I am a bad player, at least I need to know to get better. So I took a step back, and I thought, look, yeah, I can't control my team, but neither can anybody else. Somebody's gonna lose, and somebody's gonna feel bad, but most importantly, sometimes that somebody's gonna be me, and I need to be okay with that. So I stepped into my first ranked game. I was extremely nervous, I had butterflies, but I was excited at the same time. I was finally ready to get out there. I picked my comfort champion, Master Yi, and I hit it into lane, started CSing, and then I missed my first cannon minion. And in that second, my whole mindset changed. I was completely fixated on the outcome of the game. What if I lost? What if my team thought I was bad? And I slowly started to feel depressed. My game changed, I ended up playing poorly, and ultimately, we lost. Even though I had gone into the game with a great mindset, a really good attitude, all my worst fears had come true. And that's when I realized that even though I had loaded into the game with this fantastic, strong, can-do mindset, the fact that when one thing went wrong, my brain just completely changed and could only focus on the negative things. Because what if I lost? The outcome of the game was still far too important to me. And so what I had to do then is I realized I had to change the way my brain worked. There is a concept in psychology called the feedback loop, where what you think, how you feel, and how you behave is all linked. For example, even if you're feeling sad, if you physically smile and force it, then eventually your body will actually just begin to feel genuine happiness. The thing about feedback loops is that they can be positive or negative. And what I was experiencing was a negative feedback loop. So when I was losing a game, or if one little thing went wrong, my mind started to think about all the negative things that would happen. And that made me start to feel really depressed and negative. And eventually that made me start to behave in a negative manner. My brain literally changed. I'd start to feel depressed, I'd lose all my confidence, and my play would degrade. My solution to this was that I knew what was happening. I knew that by feeling bad about myself and worrying about the outcome of the game, it was only ever going to do one thing: feed into the negative feedback loop. That by making myself feel worse, all it was going to do was make me play worse. That the real fear wasn't losing the game, the real problem was the fear of losing the game. And that's when I made a conscious decision that from that moment on, every single experience I had in League of Legends would be a positive one. My mid died for a third time. Lucky he's got late game. They stole Dragon. That one wasn't so important anyway. Someone's AFK in my promos. 3 games ago, there was an AFK on the enemy team, and you wouldn't be in your promos without that. Training my brain to really focus on those things made me start thinking in a more positive way, and that made me feel much better, and it actually increased the way I played and made me enjoy League of Legends much more. My butterflies even went away, and I started to play ranked games as if it was the standard game mode. Well, I guess to finish my story, after my ranked anxiety through Season 1 and 2, I ended up going from Gold in Season 2, barely, to Diamond really early in Season 3, all the way up to Master in Season 4. But don't get me wrong, even after all those years of playing ranked, I still, to this day, get ranked anxiety if I end up taking a little bit of a break. If I take a couple of weeks off, I still get nervous trying to get back into it. So it's something that I've accepted might not ever go away completely. But I know that the problem, the real harm, is always only just in my head, and that's something that I can control. For a quick summary, if you're suffering from ranked anxiety, just remember that everybody loses. Even Faker can go on a 12-match lose streak, and that's okay. That people will judge you, people will rage at you, and people will be mean. But you're better than that, and you have a mute button. That, no, you can't control everything on your team. You can't control your teammates, but neither can anyone else. And the only thing that can get you down in this game is yourself. So think positive, be positive, and stay positive. I've also heard a rumor that subscribing to our channel actually is proven to cure like 95% of ranked anxiety, and I think give you like 50 league points. So definitely try that out, let me know how it goes. So that's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something. As I said earlier, please let me know what you thought of the format of this video, but until next time, Scurb's out. Being a pirate is a